Shalom. Call Haloyam La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bakakodash. Bakta Yahweh, Bakta Yahweh Shai, Bakta Bakakodash, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Bakakodash. Shalom and double honors unto the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and the Akwat of the hopeful elect. Shalom. Salaki. Just want to go into a quick video here entitled Satan's World is Falling Like Lightning. So the Holy Spirit jumped on me this morning. I've been wanting to make a video about some of these end time events happening right now. So many going on right now as we speak. Everything is it's so many levels. The Most High is the ultimate infinite chess player, and we knew that it would be incredible things unfolding, but the Most High is really working in a marvelous work before our eyes. There's so many things happening, and the Most High is just showing you just how vast this wisdom is, but how beautifully everything is coming together, all of the prophecies at the same time. It's like a head-on collision of all the prophecies and explosion. This is, that's a lesson right there in the spirit. The spiritual Big Bang of the end of the heathen rulership, the heathen existence, and the heathen reign upon earth. The spiritual Big Bang, which is all the prophecies of the Most High converging upon the head of the heathen to bring in World War III, the mark, Jacob's trouble, the apocalyptic times, the hour of temptation, and leading up to the return of the Messiah and the salvation of the elect. So that's a lesson that's an incredible lesson there, in the spirit. Lord willing, maybe I can make that, put that together. The spiritual Big Bang, of all the prophecies colliding, the end time prophecies colliding. That's the spiritual Big Bang that will deliver the elect of Israel. So let's see, seen Satan. I forgot to get this precept. Seen Satan as lightning. And that's the whole main precept. That's the main precept of the topic. Seen Satan. Let's see. Man, this be too tedious. Let's see. Maybe it's Saw. Nope. Shalak, give me 1 second. Shalak, right there we go. So Luke chapter 10 and verse 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. So that's what's happening right now. Since the beginning of 2024, today is January 27th, 2024, and there's so many things that's happened in this last few weeks. About to be a whole month already. The end of the month is already here, and that's the Most High speeding things up. And Russia is steadily sending troops into enhancing the troops on the ground, the soldiers, and China. And this thing is ramping up at a rapid pace now. It's picking up very fast. And that's biblical prophecy. Because the Most High, he said, let's go ahead and get it. Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. For the vision, and this vision means prophecy. For this prophecy is yet for an appointed time. But at the end it shall speak and not lie. Because everyone been scoffing, that's not of the elect. Scoffers and gainsayers have been saying, the Most High has not, these things have not come to pass yet. And when we would speak it, we had a lot of people coming up against us, but now it's happening, and now there's less and less scoffers, and they might be getting pretty nervous because they know they've been wicked, mocking the scriptures and mocking the prophecies and the prophets of the Lord and the teachers. So it says, for the vision, the prophecy is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, that means remain. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And so these prophecies are screaming. It's plain. It's, if whoever don't know by now, that these are end time biblical prophecies and the end of the world is here, they just are completely choosing their delusion to hope that things are not true, because they know that they're wicked, and the righteous are trying or they're chanting down Babylon the Great, wanting this place to end. Even though it's going to be hard times, we know that it's for our benefit and for our increase at our last end, because we're destroyed here. There's nothing here. It got to go. Because also the America, with the Joe Biden, he's giving the customs and the border patrol the go ahead to remove the barbed wires from the fences that I guess they are there, the certain particular borders and areas that they try to block out the so-called Hispanics, which are the tribe of Issachar, and the other Northern Kingdom tribes in South America coming up to flood Texas and throughout the country as well. And so what's going to happen, and what's happening as well, are these sleeper cells that's gotten in through the borders of Texas and California as well. These foreign troops posing, they're all military aged and they're not out of shape. They're, fit for battle type men. And it's only men that's crossing, these foreign men, Chinese, African, so-called Chinese, and other nations, Russians. They're all crossing the border, and they're called sleeper cells, and they're laying low until it's time, that they get the word from their government to their different governments to go ahead and activate and no longer be dormant, relaxing, but taking action and destroying American citizens. And that's, biblical prophecy. And then also, it's also civil wars about to begin as well, because reports has been coming out that, quote unquote, patriot, Edomite, so-called white men and different faction and groups, they're flooding down to Texas to keep those fences barbed wired up. And they're telling they're defying Biden and the federal government that wants to take off those barbed wires so that the immigrants can enter into the country to destroy it. And then the Texas patriots and other patriots throughout the country are converging on down to Texas to meet in the way the federal government, the Border Protection Patrol, that's trying to release those barbed wire fences to open up the floodgates, so to speak, right? And so it's going to create that civil war. So that's what, everything is happening beautifully and orchestrated like a symphony, to the spiritual infinite maestro, of lack of a better word, how the Most High is orchestrating everything. But so we'll go to Jeremiah 51 and verse 13. Start there. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. And what does that sound like in Revelation 17? The whore that sitteth upon many waters, many nations. So that's America, Babylon the Great. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures. How they abundant in treasures? By rape, robbing, pillaging, plundering, stealing everything of the other nations, taking their natural resources, gold, diamonds, oil, gas, taking all their resources and sitting fat on top of their nation's resources. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. So their end is here. The measure of their covetousness, that's their complete amount of their covetousness, desiring that which is other nations, and they keep it not at home. They don't stay in their own borders, as Malachi, I think 1:3-4 speaks on. He keepeth not at home. That's that vagabond and that fugitive spoken of in Genesis. The curse of the characteristic of Cain and what he would be. And Cain is the grandfather of Esau, and Esau is the father of the so-called white race. So verse 14, the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh of hosts, hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men. And those are those foreign troops coming in through the borders in Texas and throughout, the southern areas, wrapping around through New Mexico, Albuquerque and stuff, and through California, with men as with caterpillars. And what do caterpillars do? Eat up and devour. And they shall lift up a shout against thee. And that's not a shout just, yelling at somebody. That's a shout, a shout of war, And when you look up that word caterpillars, let's see, caterpillars right here. Young locust, early stage of development. And down here, a caterpillar as devouring. Not just no innocent, harmless caterpillar, a devouring caterpillar. And locusts, because locusts, when a swarm of locusts come and eat up all the crops, and destroy everything. And that's what they're going to do right now. Those men are referenced as caterpillars, meaning the devouring caterpillars and locusts that's about to swarm through the land. They're swarming through right now, through flooding in from Texas, from South America into Texas, and going on. And they all have different directives from their governments to go to certain particular states. Of course, throughout Texas, and then, New York. They dropping in New York, California, Chicago. The key areas, and they're gonna spread out. When the time they receive that message from their governments. It's all biblical prophecy. And so, and the brick, Russians, they looking unstoppable, they pretty much kicking NATO and kick Ukraine and NATO and their efforts in helping the U.S. sending all that money and weapons to Zelensky. Instead he asking for more, kept on asking for more money and more money and more money, but they kept getting their behinds kicked by the Russians, and the Russians are just steadily plowing forward. That bare Russia, the modern day needs, is pushing forward. I made a video a couple years ago that Russia will win, or a year or two ago, that Russia will win and take that area, and they have been winning. That's the prophecies, Reason why I don't know from my own mind, but just reading the Holy Scriptures, the Most High blessed me with the spirit of prophecy, to understand that Russia is going to move forward and plow forward, mauling and destroying everything, right? And that's that old spirit of the Soviet Union, the hooks in his jaws in Ezekiel 38, with Iran, the modern day Persians, and the Chinese. And so they looking pretty unstoppable, and they will be unstoppable until Yahweh take them down, because the Most High is going to use the missiles to take down Babylon the Great from Russia. And then the Messiah, Yahweh, he's going to go ahead and finish off the nations that took down the Babylonians, the Americans. So so the brick, so we'll get that. That's we'll read here, and they're the Eastern version of NATO, because NATO is the fourth beast that was wounded to death but healed through the whore. The spirit of the ancient Roman Empire is in the whore, America, through the Roman Senate, the Congress and the Senate up there in Washington, D.C. That's the Roman government construct revitalized and reborn, was healed. That deadly wound was healed. And then so NATO is that fourth beast that's living again, and then the whore steering it, right? And so the BRICS, the Most High raised up the BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China. They have their foundational four horns. They have their foundational four nations, and then they have all those other allies over there in the eastern nations, the eastern area. So they're going to take down the whore and the beast, the fourth beast, the NATO and the EU. So we'll go to Zechariah 1 and verse verse 20. And the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, showed me 4 carpenters, and that's the brick, BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, because they were the original 4 that made that pact together, economic pact. And now South Africa has joined the fray, and Turkey and the other nations of the NATO, the fourth beast, the European countries that are allies with America going to defect from the whore and join up with Russia and them at the end and shoot the arrows, aka thermonuclear missiles, on America as well, and burn them with fire, as the scriptures say. Not my saying, the Holy Scriptures, the Most High, through the power and spirit of Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. So, verse 21. Then said I, what come these to do? So Zechariah asking the Most High what these four carpenters are coming to do. Brazil, Russia, India, and China now in the last days, as we know the understanding of who these four carpenters are. And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah. So these horns going into the 10 horns ultimately, which was the NATO and EU, the 10 common market nations of the eastern area, you know, the European area of the old ancient Roman Empire, because it's called the Treaty of Rome. And that's how the fourth beast was healed through America, the whore, Babylon, right? So these horns have scattered Judah. And so that's through the transatlantic slave trade. So that, and the other destruction of the Israelites as well, you know, the northern kingdom, so-called Latinos, Hispanics, Native American Indians. So that no man did lift up his head. And why is that? Because they put us in a captivity and slavery here in Babylon the Great. You know, Judah, so-called African Americans, and then also, you know, Benjamin and Levi as well, which are the so-called Jamaicans, and the Haitians, which are the Levites. You know, and that's how they scattered us, and because slavery bows the spirit of a nation, and that's what's happened. But these are come to fray them. So the four horns are coming to destroy them. The Babylon, America, and the NATO and EU. They come into and that's what Russia's doing right now. They humble Ukraine and humbling the European nations as well. That's allies with America, trying to stop Russia from taking over Ukraine. So that no man did lift up his head, but these are come to fray them. So Russia and his allies are coming to fray them. And that's those hooks in his jaws of Gog and Magog, Russia, the Medes, modern day Medes, with Iran, the Persians, and China, and all their allies, and India and China and Brazil as well. That's linked up with them, so it's real heavy. To cast out the horns of the Gentiles. So those horns going into Esau, Edom, the whore Babylon, those horns and all of his allies. Because Russia kicking their behinds right now. And this is just the beginning, you know. Full-blown, intense war has not began yet, but it's in the early stages of World War III. To cast out the horns of the Gentiles, and these are the heathen Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. You see, because they scattered us from West Africa, because that was the second scattering, because the first scattering became in 70 AD when the Roman armies destroyed Jerusalem, Judah, the southern kingdom, from being a nation, and that was the official end to us being in the homeland. And then we scattered and we fled from Jerusalem, and we scattered throughout, dispersed into Africa and settled and migrated and then settled on the west coast of Africa for about 1,500 years or so, until the Europeans Esau came out of the caves, and then became known as the Renaissance period. And then they came in cahoots with the so-called Africans, the Hamites, and they rounded us up off the west coast of Africa and brought us to slavery over here. And that's how they bowed our head through slavery. And then now the Most High raised up the four carpenters, which is Brazil, India, and China, and South Africa and other allies that continues to get it added on to that original four carpenter nations, you know, the BRIC nations, the BRIC ally, the BRIC Union, just like the European Union and the NATO with the whole America. So that's what's going on. So from there, we'll go ahead and go to, well, let's see, I'm going to read this, read it in the NLT, the New Living Translation version. It's real interesting. So it says, what are these men coming to do? And that's the four carpenters: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. I asked. The angel replied, these four horns, that's the America, Babylon the Great, and NATO and the EU. Well, NATO EU didn't exist when they rounded us up in the transatlantic slave trade in that time. But these Edomites, they were linked up to round us up at that time, and then it morphed into later on the beast got revived later on. But these are Edomites. These four horns, these nations scattered and humbled Judah, and that's Judah. That's the slave trade, 1611 or 1619. Now these blacksmiths have come to terrify those nations and throw them down and destroy them. You see now that lets you know these four carpenters is referenced as blacksmiths. And what does a blacksmith do? Creates weapons. These blacksmiths, these other nations, these four carpenters that created these weapons, they come to terrify those nations. And who are those nations? America, chiefly, and then his allies, NATO and the EU. But NATO and the EU are going to defect eventually, and because they're tired of the whore taking them in all these wars. So now these blacksmiths have come to terrify those nations and throw them down and destroy them. So it lets you know that the four carpenters is headed by Russia, Gog and Magog, to take, because they humbled Judah through slavery. And who did that? America. And when we get it here in the NIV, I asked, what are these coming to do? The four carpenters. And he answered, these are the horns that scattered Judah, so that no one could raise their head. But the craftsmen have come to terrify them and throw down these horns of the nations who lifted up their horns against the land of Judah to scatter its people. So this letting you know plainly, and this puts it in more plain terms. It lets you know that these blacksmiths, the Russians, they have this thermonuclear missile weaponry, and China and them that America cannot match, and they're terrified now. That's how they're being terrified, because they know that they can't stop it. And so those blacksmiths, right? Let's get Isaiah. That's how you get here a little and there a little, and be able to piece this together and understand what's happening. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith. And what's that smith? That blacksmith that we just read. In that different translation, that lets you know that those carpenters are the blacksmiths, meaning these nations created these weapons that the Most High gave them. And the Most High let you know right here that he created those blacksmiths, those thermonuclear missiles. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. So, let's go ahead and continue reading. It's highly excited right now, Salakia. And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So now the ancient blacksmiths created swords, shields, bucklers, habergeons, mail, chain link mail, it's called mail, male protective garment over the torso, right? That's what the blacksmiths did back then. And so now these modern day blacksmiths creating weapons that blow the coals in the fire, and that's the Most High creating it. A sword can't throw fire, right? But they had those little projectiles that they put fire on the end of it. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about thermonuclear fire, modern day thermonuclear missiles, and that's what's going on. And the waster to destroy. So those are the four carpenters. They're the wasters to destroy. The four horns, the horns that scattered Judah and ultimately all Israel in captivity over here in Babylon the Great. Because now the mark is now coming into it's come and talk now amongst the media internet, social media, and amongst people are now hearing or talking. It's commonplace. It was taboo, just about a couple years ago, a year or two, maybe even months ago. But now people are realizing that this mark is something that's coming down. That they realize and they heard about it now. About this thing where they're going to have to buy and sell, unless they have, that's going to be a new form of payment. And they're calling, and Esau is so crafty in his deceit. He's calling it a digital ID. Very slick, But those with eyes and ears to hear and eyes to see know exactly what it is. He just changed the name, rebranding the name. He ain't gonna call it the mark of the beast. It's up to you to realize what it is. He calling it a digital ID. It's a slick little devil in the digital economy. So you got to have the digital economy, and you got to have an ID for that. Because we have an ID now. We have a driver's license and social security number. That's our physical ID in this physical economy. But now things going to switch. Got to have a digital ID for the digital economy. And what is that going to be? A device that you have to wave your hand and buy and sell. So Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And let's get that word mark. Where is that? A stamp imprinted mark. Let's go down a little further. Thing carved, sculpture. So this is something physical, fleshly. Let's get the root word. A pale or stake. Those old school vampire movies where you have the stakes. And how you kill a vampire, get a stake through his chest, So that's like a little mini stake that's going to go in your hand to insert something. And then right here, the mark branded upon horses. I believe this is the verse here, and let's get the different translation that really proves that it's not no Christianity like these fools love to falsely prophesy. These false prophets and false teachers, these deceivers that have sold out to teach improper doctrine. I think this is the verse here. Let's see. I had seen it one day. Down here somewhere. Where is it at? Oh, shoot. Let's see. Let's try this. Verse 17. Maybe another lesson or another video I can bring it out, but it was just another verse that further proves that it's a physical mark and not a spiritual mark. It's not Christianity. You can't buy or sell with the type of religion that you believe in, right? You can't go into a gas station and buy gas saying that you're a Christianity person, right? That's pure foolishness. So verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you can't buy and sell without it, and that's coming into place. That's becoming more and more mainstream amongst the people, and so that lets you know that, the end is definitely all converging at the same time, and a great explosion of a prophecy for the end of the world, for the Messiah, Yahushua, to return. So here in Revelations 20 and 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So that bottomless pit is Europe, because it's the one pit, the one land on earth that is devoid and deficient of natural resources. And that's that. And that was where Esau fell, and when Rome fell in around 300, around 300 AD, the Edomites, so-called whites, the Romans, they fell, right, for 1,000 years. So the Most High, so that lets you know that when the Most High seals something or release something, it's all of the Most High, and it will happen, and no man can stop it or start it. So it's widely known. It's conventional knowledge that Esau, Edom, and Rome fell in 300 AD around that time, and they didn't come out of the caves. They was in the caves for 1,000 years. They call it the Dark Ages. They were there till around 1300, 1400 AD for 1,000 years. So let's read it again from the top. And he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more, because all he does is deceive. That's why he's the devil. Devil means deceiver and slanderer. That he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. So until he was in those caves for that 1,000-year period, and after that he must be loosed a little season, and that's what they call the Renaissance. Renaissance is a French word that means rebirth. He was reborn again. He came out of the womb of those caves, and all he did was lie, deceive again. And he was loose that little devil was loose for a little season, and that little season is America, here in Babylon the Great. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So everything, the air, the food, water, and of course, the mankind, and chiefly the Israelites and all heathen nations, and then even the animals as well. And he's coming down with great wrath because he know he hath a short time. That's that little season that he's loosed, and he knows this. The wicked elites understand that. So going to Matthew, and that's why he's coming down with great wrath. All these mandates and stuff, right? Medical mandates, roll up your sleeve mandates, and chiefly, and at the end, soon is going to be that digital ID mandate. Matthew 24:14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. So everyone has heard this truth by now. And then shall the end come. And that's why the end is starting to become more and more present in everyday life and understanding, because the end is coming. And then I really want to get verse 22. Verse 22, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. That shows you there too that the Most High is only shortening the days for the 1/3 elect, the remnant of Israel, not the whole nation of Israel, and surely not the whole nation, and not all mankind, because all mankind is wicked. So that's why Esau, he knows he has but a short time, and he knows that the Most High is shortening the days for the elect's sake, and that's why he's trying to get the elect, but he will not, thus saith the Lord. Because no man can take and no man can pluck out of the hand of the Most High or his son Yahushua. The elect is in the hand of Yahweh and Yahushua, and no man will be able to stop that. No man can pluck the elect out of the hands of the Messiah when he returns, through the power of Yahweh. So Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So the end of the world, the end of the Edomites' world and the heathen rulership on the earth, It's going to be a time unlike ever before, and we're starting to realize, we're seeing that how terrible it is. It has not been this terrible, and it's going to get, it's going to continuously decrease, until the Messiah return. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, and that shows you that's the end times and the salvation of the elect at the end. Every one that shall be found written in the book of what? The book of life, the 130 elect of Israel. So then we'll drop down to verse 13. But go thou thy way till the end be. So that's regeneration, aka reincarnation. The Most High told Daniel to go his way until the end be. For thou shalt rest and stand. So he was going to rest, as meaning what? When he died in that flesh, in that time period, when Daniel dies and give up the spirit and go back to the spiritual world. And when he comes back at the end, in the end days, he's going to stand in his lot at the end days. So it says, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of days. So so resting, meaning when you go to sleep and you die, right? You can't be in the spiritual world and then stand in your lot in this physical realm in the end of days at the same time. So that lets you know that Daniel was here alive today as well. And also, all the prophets, and they got to go through that straight gate. And the rest of the elect got to go through that straight gate and that trial and that trial and tribulations, that are set before the elect to make it into the kingdom of heaven. So Ecclesiastes, one of my favorite verses, 7 and 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So the humble in suffering and living a lowly life, according to Babylon standards of having money, and riches and possessions and carnal things and materialistic things, right? And instead of the proud, which are the proud that be getting all these things, and Babylon the Great. And the patient in spirit better than the proud in spirit. So the better is the end of a thing, Esau Edom's rulership in Babylon the Great, than the beginning, because it was a bitter beginning, and it's going to have a bitter end as well. So Sirach 25, or Ecclesiasticus 25 and verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So it's a happy thing, a rejoice-worthy thing when we see our enemies destroyed because of their wickedness and their oppression over us. Just like I believe it was Tobit. He rejoiced when he found out about right before he died, when he was in old age, and he heard about the destruction of Nineveh, which was the capital city of Assyria that took down his northern kingdom brothers. The Assyrians got taken down by the Babylonians. So he rejoiced at that, in his older age. So, Christianity people, they try to claim you to be wicked when you want to see the downfall of your enemy. But that's a good slave mentality, to love your enemy. A man in his right mind understands that it's a good thing for his enemy to fall, that's been destroying his people. So 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and will end the heathen rulership. And Jacob, the Israelites, is the beginning of it that followeth, and that's the kingdom of heaven for eternity. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. So the hand of man, meaning the fate of mankind, of the heathen nations, not Esau Edom, but the fate of the heathen nations, is between the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, asked thou not. So what's that heel and hand? The heel of Esau, and then the hand of Jacob. So the fate of mankind, the fate of the Gentile, the heathen nations, not named Esau Edom, the so-called white race, Their fate is between Esau, Edom, the so-called white race that be destroying everybody, and the hand of the Israelites, the hand of Jacob, which when the Israelites rule, everything is in proper righteous order, being led the right way. But right now, everything's out of control and destroyed. So Jeremiah 51 and verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup, and the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh his hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So the nations have drunken the wine of her fornication, of her false philosophies, saying, do as thou wilt, saying the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High is done away with, saying that we're all the same, we're all equal. Everything the Bible says, Esau has said the exact opposite, and all the nations have been deceived, and now they're awakening to that drunken state of the lies of false philosophy and false satanic abominable doctrine, and now they're mad because they've been lied to, and they realize that they've been duped by the whore of the earth, America, Babylon the Great. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, this is America, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, because these heathen nations they were getting money with the whore off the backs of the Israelites. And now they're realizing everything is fallen, and Babylon is destroyed now, and everybody is fleeing. Mainly the elite, wicked elites, forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So it lets you know that they're about to be destroyed, because their iniquity has been accomplished, and now their judgment is about to go forth from the Most High. So Proverbs 29 and verse 2, the nations are mad because of this. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And that's that fate, the hand of mankind, of the heathen nations. They rejoice when the Israelites are ruling, the righteous. But when the wicked beareth rule, the so-called white race, the people mourn. And that's what's going on. Even the animals, and even the trees, everything is living. Psalms 36. Because even the animals, a key nugget, in the days of Noah, what happened? He was the animals were now ferocious and savage and wasn't wild trying to destroy Noah. Because when a person think about all the animals, the lions and tigers and bears and all these ferocious animals, we know that eat people, right? That's why they don't have faith. They can't understand existence, because in those days the animals were at peace because righteousness was, Noah was a righteous man. And so when a righteous man is going to be protected by the Lord, and he's going to make the animals at peace with the righteous man, as spoken of in the scriptures, and that the beasts of the field shall be in league and at peace with the righteous men of the Lord, the elect. And the same thing with Noah. Those animals were at peace with him on that boat. And then at the end of that flood, Noah sent that bird out to go check to see if there was green land. And so the bird obeyed and came back. What bird would obey and come back like that, unless Esau rigorously trained that bird, right? But the animals were very peaceful with Noah, because he was a righteous man. And so they understand that's why animals don't come to us anymore, because the wicked are in rule and they run from you, like squirrels, birds. They all run away from you immediately when they see you, right? But back in the old days, that wasn't the case with the righteous. They come to you, that you can call them and everything. But we in a wicked world, and that's why the animals, they know that this place is wicked, and they don't want to deal with the wicked vibration that's on the earth right now. In the earth right now. So Psalm 36 and verse 1. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. And it's found to be hateful amongst all the heathen nations as well, you know. And the Most High going to take him out here now soon. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. And that began with his forefather, his grandfather Cain. Verse 4, he deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. So, you know, we know they secret councils, they always devising wickedness. Ecclesiasticus chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself, the so-called white man, he destroys his own people. To whom will he be good? So he's not good to himself, so he can be good to no one else. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. So he's robbed everything, stolen everything, and he's still not happy. He's still not satisfied, because he says death and hell. Death can never have enough. It's always receiving new bodies to the grave. And that's why he's the same way. Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beasts, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. And that's why he has a hunting season every year. And that's why there's so many. He's always adding new animals to the endangered species list, because he's an unrighteous man. He doesn't regard the life of his beast. Who want to set up a season where he go and quote unquote lawfully hunt down and shoot and kill and kill beautiful animals, these beautiful creatures the Most High created, and then, you know, gut them and then make rugs out of them and put their heads on the wall, on the mantle, right? That's an unrighteous man. He does that, and that's why he must be brought down, because he's very wicked. And he destroys everything: the food, water, the air, and the people, the plants. The land's supposed to have every seventh year. The land's supposed to have a Sabbath, and where it's supposed to rest. But he just continue to till and till and tear up the land, you know, with his agriculture. So Revelations 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. They're angry because they was deceived and duped by the whore, America. And thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And that's the end times here. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. And that's the elect, beginning with the prophets, and to the saints. That's the rest of the 1/3 elect of the nation of Israel. So judgment to the heathen and salvation to the 1/3 elect. And them that fear thy name, small and great, and from the top of Israel to the bottom, you know, of the 1/3. And shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And that's the Edomites, so-called white race. So, you know, Satan's world is falling like lightning. And pretty soon, we're about to see all these things come to pass that we just read over. The judgments, and the rewards. The judgments of the wicked and the reward of the righteous. So with that being said, if this video was edifying, the water to the Rachak Udash Basham Yahushai for another video. Till the next video I say, Shalom.